And welcome back, fellow farmers. Welcome to the Calm Farm for another episode of our No Mods, No DLCs playthrough. As you can see, we have sheep. Yes, we do. Managed to get some water, managed to get them fed. It's a great day. Look at him there, he's proper happy. And so these little fellas, yeah, go and get your grub on. Get fed. Face straight in it. So yeah, today's mission is to improve that poor balance, sitting at 671 at the moment, because yeah, I've been spending money like there's no tomorrow, and why not? That's what we make it for, eh? So before we properly kick off, I've got to apologise. I've recorded about 10 hours worth of footage, and for some reason managed to drop my recording. So there's no farm simulating noises at all going on. Have a listen. Nothing at all, which is a pity, because I do enjoy hearing the tractor ticking on in the background. So I'm not going to waste the footage. At the end of the day, it's still part of the story. It's still part of the journey. So I'm just going to speed up the playthrough and narrate as we go along, and hopefully you enjoy what you see. If not, I do apologize, but it's taught me a valuable lesson to double check everything before I start playing. Maybe it's worth writing a checklist. I don't know. I'm still new to this. Anyway, let's buy some more sheep. Get down to the Black Welsh Mountain sheep, and we'll add a few more to the pen, because whereas they are producing wool, I fear it's going to take several months before I get any real benefit from it. So more sheep, more wool, make more money, but in turn that means I will need to uh, provide more hay or more grass and more water, which isn't a bad trade-off. I've got the equipment to produce that myself, so I'm not buying it, which is an absolute bonus. Even though it did take me forever to get to this point, we seem a little bit self-sufficient now, and that's only going to get better as we go along. For example, these two contracts look beautiful to start it all off. Bump us up by 11,500, I think, in total after we've rented the equipment. I think that is going to be one of our first buys. One of our first buys. One of our next buys is our own hoeing equipment, because having it in the bag there, we've got the tractor that can pull it, well, I think, and yeah, at least that way then we're not losing out every time we do something. So let's leave the worker do his thing, and we'll go and chop down a couple of trees here. Again, a quick reminder back to when we were selling deadwood. It really wasn't profitable at all when you consider the amount of time it takes to do it. So all I'm going to do is cut this down out of the way so it's not hanging on that tree there and giving me a false positive, because nothing worse than running towards what you think is the last tree and it turned out to be one you felled earlier. There's the last one gone. Cheeky little 750 there, straight in the back pocket. Can't argue with that. And let's get back to the contracts at hand. I'm going to try to avoid doing the wood transporters at the moment, because the crane thing, every time I'm using it with this mouse, it keeps on glitching out, as in like dropping off the game itself, taking me back to my home screen. I can't figure out what's going on there. Yeah, I'm no computer whiz by a long shot, as you can imagine. So I'll just avoid it until I've got a heavy tractor and a log grabber, and then maybe I'll get stuck into them then. But then maybe by then we won't need to. Yeah, I think by that point we'll have our own factories doing their own thing, making money in the background. We'll have our own fields that we'll be planting, sowing, and harvesting. Yeah, we should be okay by then. We won't be relying on contracts to make money for the majority. I'd hope. But in the meantime, we'll get as many of these contracts out of the way as we can. Just keep on racking them up because money is money. But one thing I won't be doing is working night shifts. Yeah, not a chance. So I'm going to collect these. There's not much in the way of contracts kicking off now, and there's not much we can do on the farm here. So I'm going to sleep it out and wake up fresh in the morning with my fingers and toes crossed for some healthier looking contracts. And there we go. That was a good little sleep there. So let's have a quick check on our progress. There's a little pallet of wool there. But as you can see, our grass is still growing in the field. We've got plenty of water, plenty of food, and as you can see, under wool, we are producing 93 litres. It's not going to go very far. I don't know, knit yourself a nice scarf out of that maybe, but it's a start. Let's go and have a quick look at that pallet. Yeah, I'm going to need forklift tines for that. Maybe it was a bit premature getting rid of the John Deere and the front loader. My own fault. Okay, the only contract worth doing now is this weeding contract. I love this big thing. This is huge. So let's get that done. And let's see what else is kicking on. I do want to do fertilizing. I want to buy my own sprayer. But it's a while away yet. I see this is the reason why we need our own hoeing equipment. Spending almost £1,000 on the renting of the equipment is, well, I'd be in debt if I did those jobs. So I've got to pick them carefully. Just like this tree contract here, I've already paid for the chainsaw. It's probably paid for itself more times over than I can count. So it's not a very sexy way of earning money, but it earns money. And there we go. Quite easy as well, quite straightforward. But there's nothing ready to do. So I think while our worker handles this field, I think we're going to have to start considering how we're going to handle our bales and our wool. So let's go and get ourselves a new trailer. Let's sell this old one first because we don't need that. It's a little bit pointless. But we could do with a small open back trailer that I can load bales on and wool pallets onto. And like I said earlier, it's going to be a while before we're selling that stuff because you can't do an auto sale. But when the time comes, we're going to need it. And it's nothing like being ahead of the game. For instance, if we have a look at the cotton, it's not going to be harvestable until October. So having the spinnery before that is a little bit pointless. But we can prepare for it. That's the main thing. 180,000, I think it was. That's quality. But to transport it, or to transport the wool, we're going to need something like this. Now, I know I slated this in an earlier episode saying it was too small, but it'll do the job. It'll do what we need it to do for the time being. I think I got a little bit ahead of myself when I thought I could load up masses of trailers and make thousands of pounds off grass. I know I say grass is easy, but you need a lot of land and a lot of equipment to do it. So let's buy this. Let's take that bad boy back to the back up to our farm and set ourselves up for whatever comes next. And there we have it. We got our worker fertilizing those fields. And then I just absolutely smashed my tractor to pieces trying to move a bale. So I'm gonna have to sort that lip out as well, I think, because I think when I get something with a front loader on it, it's gonna have to be a telehandler. Otherwise, I won't be able to get over that lip and pick up the pallet without making it a song and a dance. So I don't know whether telehandler is the best option or whether I should just, I don't know, I think it's about 45,000 for the John Deere, if memory serves. But, anyway, that's one field done. One of the things that I did forget to do was switch off the worker buy-in fertilizer. So that cost me a few £100 there because I didn't check my settings. So remember that in future, ladies and gents, check your settings and prevent your workers from buying resources because they love to spend money more than I do. One of the things I do want to look into though is it possible on a vanilla game to produce your own fertilizer? I can't quite remember. I remember being able to do it on 22, but I'm not sure if that was a DLC. Because fertilizer is expensive. That's why I'm bringing everything back here and dropping it off for the next contract. But if I could make it myself, well, that'd save a fair old chunk every time there's a fertilizing contract going on. I know you can't do seeds on the vanilla game. That's a DLC all on its own, or a mod all on its own. And I used to enjoy doing those. Proper handy, set up a little seed farm or seed nursery, and you'd be able to just run the entire project yourself without having to buy anything. It was great, but unfortunately, that's not what this playthrough is about. This is about playing the game in its most natural form. So let's get this last weeding contract done. Look at that. What a piece of kit. Makes the small fields seem very, very easy. Let's collect this. We're actually making quite a lot of headway with the with our balance at the moment, which is nice. It means that buying a sprayer or a weeder will be well within our reach very soon, actually. So what are we on now? 39,000. That's lovely. Let's get some bale wrapping done. Let the worker fertilize that field, and we can go and do some bale wrapping. Yeah, this is working out okay so far. Yeah, I think I'm making up for the long start that I put you all through. What was it, 20 episodes of wait and see? So hopefully this is a little bit more gratifying, because it is a natural part of the game. It does take a while for everything to kick off when you start with nothing. It's expected, but with it being a new game, FS25 being a new map, new equipment and things, it has taken me a little bit longer than I'd like to get into the flow of it all. And I'm absolutely busting to get onto the next map. In fact, I might start a playthrough on that and run it alongside this one. But do I have the capacity to do that at the moment? Maybe. Tell you what, when this one starts to get some traction in terms of progress, then I'll give it some consideration. In the meantime, let's get through some contracts. See you shortly. And that dead wood contract puts us just above 50,000. So that's something. That's not a bad push. Now I am aware that that selling that trailer got me 20k as well, but we're um we're making we're making a lot of progress there. I don't think it'd be unrealistic to aim for another 10,000 in this episode. The contracts are there. Um, the greenhouse is doing its bit in the background. Um, that greenhouse is quite handy because it kind of offsets the cost of hiring workers, which is nice. I wouldn't mind getting a bigger one, or maybe setting up a second one. Double the money that's coming in. Um, I don't know. Or maybe the better option would be to increase the size of the sheep pen, get more sheep in there. I've only got 8 at the moment, but the as soon as I've got enough to build a bigger pen, I think that would be the way to go because wool goes for a lot of money in the spinnery. I think it's about 1,100 per 1,000 liters, which is a handsome amount of money really. Let's collect on these contracts here. Well, let's leave the hoeing equipment alone for the timing because I think I saw one earlier. Yes, there we go, 3,000. And since I've still got the equipment rented from the last one, it means I don't have to spend £1,000 renting it again. There we go. Right. So one of the benefits of doing all of this extra field prep is that when the harvesting season does come round, you get bigger yields. So when the contract hits 100%, there's normally a little bit more left over. Hence the let's get weeding done, fertilizing, hoeing, and all that. This one looks it's only gonna be 1,200 profit, but 1,200 profit is better than being poked in the eye. And if you think the extra the extra yield you'll get from 1,200 for doing the contract, a little bit of extra yield as well when you harvest, that could bump it up a few more as well, a few more quid. So there's always a benefit to doing this kind of stuff. There's nothing more frustrating than harvesting a field and you can see the weeds and all the crap underneath, and you just know that that's hitting the bottom line really. Or am I just too money orientated? I don't know. But it is fun prep in the fields anyway. It's what it's all about, isn't it? So let's collect this. And I think I'll call it a day there actually. Ladies and gents, thank you very much for joining us on this episode. We're going to go and get our heads down now, but please come back for the next episode. If you've got any comments, please drop them below, and I'll see you soon.